As principal of Lawton High School, at least for a few more days, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to our 149th commencement exercise. It is this ceremony by which the faculty, administration, and Board of Education are those members of the senior class who have successfully completed the established requirements of our school system in the state of Michigan. These students have now qualified for a Lawton High School diploma conferred by the Board of Education. Here at Lawton High School, we have a tradition of producing quality scholars and citizens. The class of 2022 is no exception. This group has excelled both academically and athletically, and overall it's just a great group of kids. It's been a pleasure to be their principal over the last 4 years and have them as my last graduating class. This evening I present to you 61 outstanding young women and men for recognition as they are formally graduated from Lawton High School. Congratulations, class of 2022. Please welcome Superintendent Mr. Ben Banfield.
Good evening. Lawton High School graduating class of 2022, I'm extremely honored to be with you on this very exciting evening. First, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce the 7 members of the Lawton Community Schools Board of Education. As I've worked with the board members this year, I quickly understood that they are tremendously committed to our students and our place. They made decisions this year that made their commitment to our kids very clear. We are fortunate for their governance, and I appreciate their service. I'd like to introduce President Wally Hitchcock, Vice President Steve Carroll, Treasurer Brian Cronowet, Secretary Larissa Hunt, Trustee Matt Riggs, Trustee Julianne Bradish, and Trustee Eric Smith. Thank you, Board of Education. As a new superintendent, I knew I would have a lot of firsts. First moment of real pride, first challenging situation, the first important snow day call, which I believe it was a 60-degree day in October that many of our graduates tried to start persuading me to make this call, even bribing me. You know who you were. Officially, I did not take any bribes the entire year for snow days, and this is my first commencement and first graduating class as superintendent. This class exceeded any expectations I'd had for my first graduating class. The academic accolades, athletic accomplishments, contribution in our performing arts events, and so much more were all extremely amazing, and I'm so proud. But none of those were my most important thing. The many interactions I had with groups of these graduates, I had or witnessed experiences with them is what my most important thing was. So many of these interactions gave me a glimpse of the type of people that we had in this graduating class. And so often after those interactions, I think that's who I want as a representative and to represent the Lawton graduates. This is honestly a bittersweet moment as I feel like I've only begun to make a connection with many of you, but the beauty of graduating from a place like this is that many of you will be back as friends and spectators and teachers, coaches, parents in this community. So go make us proud in your next adventures, and wherever you end up, remember, Lawton is always home. I'm hopeful these graduates can feel accomplished, experienced, and truly feel like they made a difference. There are 2 among our graduates that I believe are the most experienced and undoubtedly made a difference, and I'd like to thank and recognize specifically. Both of these special people have been a part of Lawton commencement activities longer than most of our other graduates have been alive. Darcy Monroe and Tammy Wilson have been committed to Lawton Community Schools for 23 years and 17 years respectively, and this evening they will be graduating along with this senior class as they will be retiring at the end of the school year. So many lives in this community have been positively impacted by these 2 women, Ms. Wilson and Ms. Monroe. I sincerely thank you, and I'll ask the audience to join me in recognizing these 2 and thanking them for what they've done and wishing them well in retirement. Additionally, we have a high school science teacher, Dodie Tolles, who saved us coming out of retirement this year, a week before school started, truly, and did a wonderful job, but she is officially retiring. So thank you, Ms. Tulls, for saving us this year. I appreciate it. Class of 2022, I thank you for all that you have done. I truly want you to enjoy this evening, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Banfield. It's a practice at Lawton High School to recognize our top 10 senior scholars based on grade point average, SAT scores, and honors classes. Students in the top 10 can be eligible to speak at graduation. Tonight, we are excited to have 4 distinguished speakers. Our first speaker is Drew Stefan.
So, I want to start it off by playing a little bit of a game. So, I have timed my speech once before this, and it was exactly, oh sorry, I don't think you can hear me. My speech was 4 minutes and 41 seconds before this. I'm going to time this again, and we're going to play a little over-under game. So, I get nervous and I talk fast, but I'm also a Stefan, so I ramble. So let's see, if you think I'm going to ramble more than I'm going to talk fast, pick the over, but vice versa, pick the under. Over! I haven't started it yet. It's only my scripted speech now. Okay, I'm gonna start now. Thank you so much for allowing me to lead off this talented group of scholar speakers, and my brother Evan. Well, actually, I'm kind of being forced to do this. Lily and Natalie didn't want to start, and Evan thought it'd be funny if I went first. Due to one reason, me being born first. Haha, so amusing. Well, anyway, I'm going first, so here goes it. When I used to attend graduations in the past, I always thought the speakers were kind of kidding about procrastinating their speeches until last minute. I would think to myself, no way I'm gonna do that. It'll be so easy. However, as I lie here in my bed, or at least I hope it's lie, sorry Mr. Rupp, maybe I need one more homophone quiz. 4 days before my speech needs to be done, I realized that they were indeed not kidding. But hey, as long as you get it done, right? I keep pushing it off constantly because what do I talk about for 2 to 3 minutes to sum up 13 years of my life? The only memories I genuinely have are from my time in school and the people I met because of it. So how do I wrap it up in a short and coherent speech? I don't know how to, and I still don't think I did, so it might not be short or coherent, so here I go. Not to spoil my brother's speech at all, but I am not going down a journey on memory lane. However, I think I might tell you one little story. So many of you know, my late grandfather, David Stefan, passed away on the night of March 10th. Coming home from a basketball dinner, the news was a slight shock to my family. But we knew the time was soon, and we accepted the situation and moved on together. But there's another reason this night is so important to me. That night I had a core memory embedded into my heart by a lifelong friend. Many of you know Jake Roof as a star running back or point guard, but I had the pleasure of knowing him as my best friend from the age of 4 years old. We can honestly say that we have grown up together, supported each other in sports and academically, even though I might have supported him a little more academically. He honestly became like Evan and I's triplet for a while, but we never really had the opportunity to support each other emotionally. However, on the night my grandpa passed away, he was the first one to stop by and console me with a big hug. I knew that he could kind of relate to some of my struggles. This moment meant so much to me. Like, I don't think he even understands how much. I didn't want to throw my emotions on other people, but he allowed me to do it. This is honestly what made my time here so sacred at Lawton. I found people that I know will care about me for the rest of my life, and that if I really need them, I can depend on them. Wow, didn't expect to write a sentimental speech. Maybe I should make it a more comedic speech. Wait, I don't want to make Miss Wilson mad and kick me off stage. No, she's a little too nice for that. If I flatter her enough, perhaps she will let me stay on stage. You look very lovely, Mrs. Wilson. Anyway, I would like to give out a couple of thank yous to some of my past teachers and important people in my life. I would like to start it off with a thank you to my wonderful girlfriend, Ileana. She's constantly supported me. Thank you to Mr. Schmidt for teaching me about the adventures in the realm of Avalon and calculus. Thank you to Mrs. Carr for playing Among Us with us after our AP tests. Thank you to Miss Claus for allowing us to watch the Olympics. En las palabras de Megan Dapati, gracias al Señor Dewey por enseñarme un nuevo idioma para mi futuro, donde yo puedo conocer las nuevas personas y aprender acerca de las culturas diferentes. Thank you to Natalie Torres for precisely predicting my SAT score. And thank you to my parents for, actually not the and, I have one more. Thank you to my parents for always motivating and supporting me. And finally, thank you to my fellow class of 2022. We have grown and learned so much together. I would say we made it, but we have just started our stories and closed the intro chapters. Now comes the good stuff. However, I cannot in good conscience end my speech here. As we are in the wake of two of the worst shootings in recent history in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas, I had a longer statement, but I know that I will be unable to truly change your views. I just hope that we can all agree that something must change. Too many people are impacted by gun violence for it just to continue as is. I'm not saying get rid of all guns. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how many shootings will be enough. We must make the change before it's too late. No one had ever heard of Uvalde, Texas prior to the shooting, which goes to show it can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to happen to us for it to matter to us. So will we finally be the generation to change? Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. I would like to invite my twin brother, Evan Stefan, to the stage. Who picked the over? I went over. All right, thank you so much. Evan is now coming to the stage.
Now that the good stuff is here, the better speech can get its way. In actuality, Drew, you did a great job. I want to play off your speech and thank all the people you mentioned. As you know, we live a very similar life, so most of those people affect me positively as well. But moving on to my address to the class of 2022. If you all, especially those who have gone to Lawton for all 13 years of your schooling, think back to some of your most vivid and memorable childhood memories, there's a pretty high chance at least one person next to you is somehow involved in those. For me, Lawton is the reason for so many of these memories. I'm going to share just a few, and if I embarrass you in the process, then so be it. Let's start off with one that not too many of you would know. One day, in I think it was 1st or 2nd grade, Jake and I thought it would be a swell idea to create a new hip and unique playground game called, and I quote, Spit Tag. It started in a small group of us until Jake, who wanted to expand his remarkable invention, spit directly on Natalie Ann. Obviously, Natalie was not the happiest. She proceeded to tell the recess aide about the incident. Words got to Jake's mother, and Jake had to write handwritten notes to just about everybody he spat on. Now on to one feeling, especially for those who attended Lawton Elementary School, that will never be able to be recreated from our elementary days, was the weeks leading up to winter break. There were the infamous reindeer games, which were possibly the greatest motivation for going to school I've ever experienced. Then watching Polar Express with a nice cup of hot chocolate, and then sending off with our winter iconic Christmas concert. These feelings will never be recreated, at least for me. Moving into middle school, where we'd have the dodgeball tournaments with possibly the most iconic team ever, John Carlos's one-man team. The middle school also provided possibly the most competitive games of Foursquare ever played as we raced through our lunch to wait in the line for those cutthroat moments. Or most recently, me getting to play Space Invaders with Matthew Long John at after prom. I will not ramble on about how important the football season was to me because I bet you are all more tired of hearing about it than I am. But instead, I'm going to talk about something that I never experienced until this year. On May 19th, I decided to go to the band and choir concert. It left me with another memory that I will cherish for a lifetime. Seeing my classmates like Logan Lampy, John Carlos, Ethan Lechner, and many more do what they are passionate about was so rewarding. Logan's performance of his original piece was something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. This was followed by the choir's performance of Come Sail Away, which literally gave me goosebumps. Along with those performances were the band's performance that contained music from iconic movies from our childhood, like How to Train Your Dragon and the Avengers theme song. It was so special, and the nostalgia it induced was immense. After the performance was over, getting to talk with my peers, like John, who played, if I counted correctly, 3 or 4 different instruments during How to Train Your Dragon, which was fantastic. Logan and I also shared a very special moment at the concert's conclusion, which leads me to share this with some of you. For those that still have time left in high school, one regret I have for my time here was not experiencing more events like the band concert. If you have time in your day and there's a school event like a play put on your peers who pour hours of their times into learning their script, or a band concert that is put on for those who play in the band to show off their skills and songs they've practiced for hours on end, take that hour or 2 out of your day and support your peers, because you better believe they are supporting you. However, as you all know, not all of our experiences were sunshine and rainbows. There are definitely negative things going on and things I disagreed with, but I do not like to focus on the negative, so I digress. For all of us throughout our time here, Lawton has created many opportunities for us to learn things about each other that no other place could recreate. Being able to experience 13 years of school with all of you left me with endless memories that little hints throughout my life will bring back to me. If I ever see a Foursquare on the concrete, I will instantly think of endless hours on the middle school courts playing Foursquare with all of you. I could bring up countless memories, which we'll skip over, like me passing out on the playground after Jake bet me he could hold his breath longer, and then him breathing through his nose, because that is a story for another time. Regardless of how you felt about going to school, if you loved it or you hated it, I feel like we can all agree on one thing positively. It is how nice Logan Lampy is. I mean, who can disagree? This is a 100% true statement, just like the fact that squares are not round. It's simply the truth. However, what we should take from this is that being so kind like Logan should not be out of the ordinary. We should take a page out of Logan's book and simply be more kind. Thank you. And now for a more cynical take on high school, Natalie Torres. Thank you.
Buenas tardes a todos. I'd like to begin by thanking my predecessors, Drew and Evan, for allowing everyone to get a quick nap in before the real speeches begin. While my counterparts have mainly reminisced about the past, I want to say a few words about the future. We're going to be starting our real lives now, and while the playing field may still not be even, I hope that despite your advantages or disadvantages, we can all grow up. Realistically, I will not see many of you ever again, but if I happen to be condemned to the pleasure of such coincidence, I hope to meet a better person, not solely one with a newly garnered trade skill, or a college-level education, or wherever your time after the ceremony may take you, but someone who is hopefully more socially aware, morally noble, and less pubescently irritating. If at some point in the far near future, someone were to ask me if I missed high school, my answer would be no. Of things I would not miss, ranking at the very top of the list, would be having to hear the Stefans try to speak Spanish every day. A close second would be enduring the boys' humor daily, or waking up at 6 a.m. to be greeted by the sleep-deprived faces of my fellow classmates in the crowd. Now, do not get my pessimistic view twisted. There were some not-so-terribly miserable moments as well, like that 3-month period where I had a higher SAT score than Drew, or beasting it on the badminton court with Lily, or the free sort of lunches we got these past 2 years, or every day spent in a cross-country or track uniform. Now, I'm sure you may all have your own special memories from this school and the people who have attended it, but I will leave those for you to dwell on for the next 20 years of your lives. Speaking of years, these past 4 have been tough, for this class especially, with the few births, deaths, and diseases, viral and mental, that we have encountered. But just look on the bright side. For some of us, it is only downhill from here. In the words of a friend who is very dear to me, you can only go up from rock bottom, unless it gets worse. And with that, I give you the girl from which the quote originates, Lillian Greer.
Okay. Thank you, Natalie, and thank you, Drew, for not making me go first. I appreciate it. My name is Lily Greer, and it is my honor to speak for all of you today, and a privilege, as Miss Wilson reminds us, to be here to graduate with you all. The thought of giving a speech at graduation and talking in front of a whole bunch of people was always something that scared me, as I am not the most confident speaker. However, when I thought about what I was like when I first started here at Lawton in preschool, I remember just how shy I used to be and how I would barely talk. And although I still don't have the easiest time speaking, unlike the Stefans, I felt that I owed it to everyone who helped me find my voice to stand up here and thank them. As I've mentioned, I'm not the most talkative person, but that did allow me to be more observant, and I thought I'd share some of those observations today. Since elementary school, I have seen relationships blossom and wither many times in the span of a week or two. I have seen almost all of my female classmates have a crush on Jake Roof at one time or another. We've all been there. I have witnessed rap battles between teachers and students, saw Sarah make a couple three-pointers, and even saw a couple of fights. These skirmishes include Natalie slapping Drew, the infamous E-Dub and Mason fight, and pretty much any time we play Avalon. I also watched the football team play on Ford Field, although I'm pretty sure almost everyone here was also there. I have seen people rise to the occasion, such as Drew being number 1 in our class, much to everyone's dismay, Carter lifting like 1,000 pounds or something, and Mia showing up to school. However, there have also been hard times too, such as that time the elementary flooded, when Coach Macon took a tumble on his scooter, and every time Evan says Escuela instead of Escuela. Yet against all odds, Cooper still made me laugh every single day, and Ryan only wore shorts. There are also a lot of little mementos that I've kept through the years, like a little doodle Erica gave me once, or the Chinese Dynasty song whose car engraved into my brain. I've known most of my classmates for the majority of my life, and I like to think that I know them pretty well, but they still always seem to surprise me. For example, I had no idea Triton could sing until like a week ago, or that Caleb could bust a move. He's not a senior, but it's worth recognition, believe me. Also, I didn't know Dylan could speak even an ounce of Spanish until like this year when I found out he was like almost fluent, or that Jacob Mack was some sort of computer genius until the senior awards night. Senior awards night was also cool because I saw a lot of people whom I had previously thought dropped off the face of the earth, like Charlie Appleby, who I just hadn't seen in forever. It also presented the senior video, where part of it showed what everyone's plans were for after high school, and I saw that many were undecided in either where they were going or what they were going to major in, which was very comforting to me, as I also don't yet know what I wish to do with my future. However, as Miss Wilson's favorite class, I know that we are full of potential and will no doubt go on to do great things no matter where we go. Now I would like to end with a quote by the great Logan Lampy and say, good luck, guys. Thank you.
Excellent job. Distinguished speakers, you guys were great. Way to go. And you are my favorite class. And I mean it this time. They might be here. Right. That's okay. At our senior awards ceremony held on May 10th, several school-sponsored scholarships were presented. At this time, I'd like to recognize these students by having them stand as I call their name. Please hold all your applause until all of the scholarship recipients have been announced and are standing. Maryland Holiday Scholarship, Sarah DeConing. Vaughn and Phyllis Cornish Memorial Scholarship, Jake Roof. Adam Schaefer Memorial Scholarship, Landon Motter. Chance Klassen Soccer Memorial Scholarship, Addison Moderman. James D. Legas Wrestling Memorial Scholarship, Kyle Miller Wrestling Scholarship, and Brian Sosinski Memorial Scholarship, Cody Miller. Matt Zedick Memorial Scholarship, Carter Main. Andy Cusantino Memorial Scholarship, Ethan Johnson, Connor Matthews, Matt Lazinski. Brianne Hovey Memorial Scholarship, Natalie Am. David Stefan Memorial Scholarship, Cooper Geib, Sarah DeConing. Lawton Education Foundation Recognition Scholarship and Kara Fund Memorial Scholarship, Logan Lampy. Shane Money Memorial Scholarship, Carter Main and Sarah DeConing. Congratulations, scholarship winners. This year, we have a total of 43 senior scholars out of 61 graduates. These are indicated in your programs. Yes, we can give a round of applause for that. At this time, I would like to recognize our top 10 senior scholars. Again, please stand when I call your name and hold all applause till the end. Top 10, Drew Stefan, Evan Stefan, Natalie Torres, Lillian Greer, Sarah DeConing, Landon Motter, Carter Main, Cooper Guy, Jake Roof, and Mackenzie Raymond. Congratulations, Tom. Next, we will have remarks from our Board of Education President, Mr. Walter Hitchcock, then the awarding of the diplomas. The graduates will be announced by Mrs. Roof and receive their graduation packets from Mrs. Wardell over at the table here. Those are our two senior class advisors, and let's give Mrs. Wardell and Mrs. Roof a big round of applause. Now, let's welcome Mr. Hitchcock.
Good afternoon. I know that every day it's a great day to be a Blue Devil fan, but this senior class, you made it a great year to be a Blue Devil fan. First of all, your good showing in your robotics program, outstanding musical programs, terrific athletic programs, and then you top it off with your great academic success. On behalf of the Board of Education, I congratulate all of you. Good job. Now it's my honor to ask the first row to please stand.
I wanted to say real quick, I have a big heart for this class. Leslie and I have really enjoyed this class, and I want to give a big shout out to all the parents and families who raised wonderful children. Thank you. You guys ready? All right. Drew Michael Stefan. Evan David Stefan. Carter Joseph Main. Lillian Elizabeth Greer. Natalie Marie Torres. Cooper Woods Geib. Seth Allen Barr. Triton T. Smith. Taylor Nicole Thomason. Sarah Marie DeConing. Natalie Lynn Am. Addison Nicole Moderman. Mackenzie Renee Raymond. Ryan Gregory Gould. Landon Matthew Motter. Ethan Michael O'Donnell. Chase Christian Mitchell. Jake Garrett Roof. Maria June Mason. Marie Bassett. Charles Hansis Appleby. Robert James Sturmer. Alyssa Marie McCartney. Melissa Ann Hearns. Abigail Gracie Alexis Terpstra. Dylan Jason Johnson. Emma Grace Doyle. Erica Marie Longjohn. Ariana Grace Moneta. Gavin James Rome. Jocelyn Elizabeth Bunatello. Aiden Cole Bannister. Ethan Wade Johnson. Otherwise known as E-Dub. Connor Charles Matthews. Oscar Sylvester Mancera Guerra. Benjamin Kenneth Wokek. Logan Keith Lampy. Jacob J. Marr. Tyler Jacob Allen Ames. Stephen Cody Miller. Cody Allen Oxley. Aiden James Blackburn. Brandon Rain Lassen. Ethan Michael Lechner. Maria Eleanor Long. Hannah Elise Price. Matthew Thomas Lazinski. Jacob Ryan Mack. Emily Catherine Watts. Alberto Martinez Jr. Logan Robert Diamond. Matthew Edward Paul Longjohn. Alexia Marie Good. Emma Jane Harmer. Seth Daniel Wickett. important. Chase Lewis Odell Vincent Hatfield. Giselle Gomez Lazario. Jordan Louise Newman. Harley Michael Lee Smith. And Michael William Bazzi.
Barbecue.
Okay, at this time, can I have all the graduates stand, please?
Yep.
I'm very proud to introduce the class of 2022.
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you, sir.